This is a diesel-powered Volkswagen Lupo, so we all know what to expect. It'll make the sound of the farmyard and accelerate like a dog on a rug. Or is that wrong? Well, let's find out. I am going to do one lap of the M25 in this thing to see if it's bearable. And to make it more interesting, I shall be going in convoy with a petrol-powered Lupo. And the producer has said, however much money I save in fuel by driving this, I can spend in the shop. Like all motorway service stations, there's much to choose from. $4.99 for a Cliff Richard calendar. Tempting. Oh, look at this gold-plated crystal telephone. I mean, who's going around the M25 and thinks, I've suddenly decided I need a pair of trousers? Oh, for God's sake. My video's in the discount bin. $3.99. With both cars full to the brim of fuel, it was time to set off. Rough with the smooth on TopGear this week, then. A little while ago, I was doing burnouts in a burnt-out city in a Ford GT with 500 million brake horsepower. And now I'm going around the most boring road in the world in a diesel Lupo. Actually, I like the Lupo. I like its mad face and its tininess. Best of all, though, it doesn't feel like a small car. I know it's more expensive than all its rivals and the boot is pathetic, but there's an enormous amount of space up here and a sense of what the Germans call quality. But now for the nitty-gritty. This 1.4-litre diesel version cost £10,200, exactly the same as the 1.4-litre petrol version. They both have power steering, both have stereos, both have alloy wheels. Obviously the petrol version's faster, it'll do 120, whereas the diesel car won't. They've helped it along with a turbo, but it'll barely do 105, and 0 to 60 takes 12 seconds. 0 to 60 in double figures. Well, I didn't know that was still possible. Thing is, though, that in the real world, you never go from 0 to 60, and you never go flat out. What you do is go from 50 to 70 a lot, in fifth. And that's where the diesel engine comes in. No one knows what torque is, but this has 144 of them. 144 torques live under its bonnet. Obviously, you shouldn't listen to those people who say, oh, we can't tell it's a diesel under the bonnet. It sounds just like a petrol, because it doesn't. It sounds like it's been fueled with sandpaper. But, crucially, it's not so noisy that I can't hear Ken Bruce's Popmaster.
Give me the titles of 3 UK single chart hits. 4 Squeeze. 3
Call for Cats, Labelled with Love, Up the Junction. Come on, useless man. Easy. Throw that Popmaster over for another day and now I'm bored. People are always being rude about the M25. Oh, it's got 73 miles of jams on any given Monday, but think about it. I know it should be wider, I know there should be 68 lanes in either direction, but 200,000 cars a day use this thing. 200,000, and imagine where they'd all go if it weren't here. To go to Carshalton and Watford. Do you want to go to Watford? Oh no. There I was defending the M25 and now... I have people's faces in traffic jams. Oh, is it so miserable? Could be worse. You could be shot in the back of the head by a marksman. But even though the motorway let us down, I have to say the diesel was good to us. Not just bearable, but faster where it matters than the petrol. And because of all those torques, you have to change gear less often, and that makes it more relaxing to drive. I'm in the outside lane of a British motorway doing outside lane of British motorway speeds in my 1.4 diesel city car, and it's fine. I have to say I am impressed. Painfully impressed. And we haven't even got to the business of fuel economy yet. Right, that is now brimmed. And the news is frankly astonishing, because this little diesel here has done 75 miles to the gallon, and the petrol only managed 42 miles to the gallon, and that's a huge gulf. So are the savings. On just one lap of the M25, 119 miles, I've saved £4.29p, which I'm now going to go and spend in the shop.
So what do you spend your £4.29 on then?
I spent it on a cock.
Let's have a look.
Look at that.
Oh, look.
Gold with real crystals.
I'll just share that with the nation. Do you know what? That is so awful that if that had been me, I think I'd have had your video and kept the change.
No, the thing that occurred to me is if you went round to the M25, I don't know, there were probably 20 of those different statuette things, you could get the lot. The producer says if I go round again, I can have a beaver.
A golden beaver?
A golden beaver.
Do you honestly think I am going to put up with a small diesel hatchback just so that I can have a golden cock?
Yes, almost certainly. Listen, the thing is, it is faster. I promise you, James,
I promise you it isn't. Well, I organised a race this morning around the track. In the wet, the petrol Lupo was 6 seconds quicker. That is eternity.
On the motorway, 50 to 70, you put your foot down in the diesel and the bloke in the petrol one's fishing around. And also, if I can just think back to when you were driving that 5 Series, you said you were driving the 3-litre petrol, you've driven the 3-litre diesel, and I'm quoting, and it was astonishing.
Yeah, the big 3-litre BMW engine is astonishing, as that Mercedes one is that you drove, but on a small hatchback, OK? When you drive one of those and it's a diesel, it says 3 things about you. One is, you're tighter than 2 coats of paint. The second one is that you care so much about the environment that you want to leave a little protective sooty film over it. And the third one is, you're probably French.
I've suddenly remembered why I don't like talking to you. So I'm going to go and talk to my best friend, the little one.